402-438-5822. Saluting our troops and veterans. God bless America.
Garage doors can be expensive. Are you keeping yours in the best condition possible? This is Cameron Hall with Doors Plus. Doors Plus is a locally owned business that prides itself on the fast, reliable, and friendly service. Doors Plus offers flexible scheduling so you can book an appointment that fits your busy day. My team and I will come out to your property, both commercial and residential, and provide you with the necessary information you need to make sure your garage door is in working and smooth condition. Give Doors Plus a call today at 402-590-5800 to book an appointment and learn more about our preventative maintenance plans. Doors Plus, garage doors, and more.
Power combo BOGO? Huh?
Yes, if you purchase an air conditioner, you receive a furnace completely free. At John Henry's, our professionals want to ensure you are comfortable in your home all year long, no matter what Nebraska has to throw at us. Call today to schedule your free estimate and learn more about the free furnace waiting for you. Give John Henry's a call today.
435-5555. John Henry's Plumbing, Heating and Air,
and Electrical.
This is Lincoln's home for sports talk on the FM dial. Also online at theticketfm.com.
On the internet.
KNTK FM Firth, 93.7 The Ticket. Football season is nearly here, and your long wait for year 2 of Matt Rule is almost over. Gear up for the season with 93.7 The Ticket's coverage of Big Ten Media Days from July 23rd to the 25th, live from Lucas Oil Stadium in Indianapolis. Jay Foreman, Amon Green, Adam Carricker, Chancellor Brewington, Derek Pearson, Steve Sipple, Jake Sorensen, and Nick Sainer will be in Indy for our shows Tuesday through Thursday. Getting the latest news from Nebraska and everyone else around the conference. Coverage of Big Ten Media Days is brought to you by 1890 Nebraska, Stevens and Smith Construction, The Complex, Warhorse Casino, and Riddles Jewelry.
Big box stores are tempting for buying equipment for your high schooler in sports or for yourself in your sports leisures. But buying new is awfully expensive. Why not go somewhere with new and used options? Play It Again Sports is quality, slightly to gently used equipment, and 50% of their inventory is actually new equipment. And it's more than baseball, softball, and golf. They also have equipment for disc golf, fitness, hockey, and more. Plus, they're always buying products. Bring your gear you're done with and get trade money on the spot. Play It Again Sports at 48th and Vine.
Whether you like fishing together or fishing to get away, for the thrill of reeling in a big one, or just going out to have a good time, on the banks of your local pond, at a bend in a river, or on one of our many lakes and reservoirs, you'll always find the perfect place to cast a line, here, beneath Nebraska skies. Start planning your next fishing adventure today at letsfishnebraska.com. Sponsored by Nebraska Game and Parks, aired with the Nebraska Broadcasters Association and this station.
Join us each Saturday from 11 a.m. to noon for Youth Football 101 with Tank Perry of the Nebraska Red Wolves of 7-on-7 football. The future of the sport depends on the foundation set at a young age. Hear those stories and more each Saturday from 11 a.m. to noon here on 93.7 The Ticket.
This is Bree Fansteel, local race car driver. Join me and James Rowland every Sunday at 7 p.m. for The Finish Line, where we discuss off-road, on-road, and sometimes next-to-the-road racing on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Coming at you live from the heart of Lincoln, America. This is the Don't Punt Hour with former Nebraska receiver.
Throwing over the middle, completes the pass. He's got speed to the end zone. Touchdown! 45 yards.
And return specialist.
This time he beats the kicker in one more.
DeMornay Pierson-El.
Not only does the sideline have confidence in Pierson-El, but Pierson-El has confidence in Pierson-El.
On 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
All right, welcome into the Dump Punt Hour. Harrison Arns on the ones and twos. As always, we got the host, Morning Pierson-El, streaming in on a Wednesday night. 402-464-5685. If you guys want to join in on the show, feel free to do so. Starter Heyman text line open to you as always. And if you want to put a face to the voice, Facebook, YouTube, and Allo Channel 961. All great ways to do so. Let's bring him in. Good morning, Pierson-El. How's it going on this Wednesday night?
It's going good, enjoying the day.
Absolutely. Yeah, not too hot. It's a nice cooler afternoon. It feels like some of that July heat's starting to go away a little bit, but I'm sure it'll come back around the corner, especially when football starts up. Those 2 days, seems that's when it gets real. But before we dive into football, we do get some interesting comments from Sankey as well from the SEC. Let's talk a little bit of USA basketball. Exhibition game versus Serbia. They handled business pretty well. Steph Curry puts up 24 points, but Serbia was hanging pretty close in that first half, and then they start the second half with a 15-0 run. Was this kind of more the version of the USA to expect? Do you think they're kind of starting to figure out their groove here by Serbia kind of getting pushed around in the first and then just taking control, looking incredibly comfortable in that second half?
I mean, I would say so. I told you, it's, exhibition. So it's things got to be worked out and whatnot. And, they're getting in the groove of things and figuring some stuff out. So, I mean, the pieces are starting to fall into place.
Yeah, and I will say, looking at the box score here, if you're curious how Jokic did, as we give you, Jokic, he did play an okay game, not necessarily game-breaking like you might expect. He does put up 15 points. He gets only a total of 7 defensive rebounds, 4 offensive, 11 total rebounds, a couple steals in there as well. Okay game by Jokic, but what was impressive with that first half was how Serbia was keeping it very close. And then the 3-point shots started falling for the USA. I'm not super surprised. You shouldn't be. I was only surprised that it was that close in the first half. Again, I understand Jokic is a phenomenal player, but you look at the rest of Serbia, they were definitely just didn't have the athleticism to compete. And it showed towards the end there, especially when they start missing some 3-point shots.
Do you think you don't think that will happen to majority or most that the most other countries come in contact with the U.S.? Not to say that they don't have the athletic makeup to keep up, but
I think they can catch you sleeping. So athletically, no one should challenge the U.S. Teams coming closest to it, I mean, probably Canada. I think it's that's probably the second closest team in terms of athleticism, just because they got plenty of NBA guys already on that. And Shea Gilgeous, Jamal Murray, they've kind of proven it being those guys. But you don't necessarily need peak athleticism in this new era of basketball in order to be the best. And that's where these European teams can sneak up on you. I shouldn't even say Europe. It's the Olympics now. It's everybody. That's where these foreign teams can sneak up on you for the sake that if you're not shooting the 3-ball well, those other programs, the way they built those cultures around basketball, very efficient on shot selection. The 2-point efficiency is always off the charts. In fact, a lot of those foreign leagues, their efficiency rating is better than it is in the NBA. And it's not because the defense is worse. That wouldn't add up because the offense should be worse as well, right? No, it's because they take more time in their shot. Every possession, they use a lot more clock, but they are way more consistent on getting the right shot. And then you go look at the NBA. I mean, we've seen people in the NBA, especially if you watch the Wizards last year, people get a little trigger happy. They start taking bad shots. They start rushing their offense. Yeah, you know exactly who I'm talking about.
ISO one-on-one basketball.
Yep. As fun as it is to watch, it's not always winning basketball. And that's where, is Serbia going to be the team to catch Nebraska completely off, or Nebraska, to catch USA completely off guard? No, not by a long shot. I don't think they were ever going to come close in this one when it got to the end there. But other teams are going to be good enough to where if they can stay close with you and you start missing your 3-point shots, kind of what Australia did the other day, I don't care. It's an exhibition. This is supposed to be a redeemed team. You have the greatest. I mean, this roster's loaded. I don't want to hear you're just getting ready, and it's an exhibition game. It doesn't matter that much, especially when I hear Steve Kerr.
I'm not saying it doesn't necessarily matter, but again, people are gonna bring, regardless if the USA brings their best shot or not. People are gonna take their best shot at them at all ways. So I feel like it's always gonna look like, oh, it's closer than what it might be, or oh, they kind of play bad when it's like they haven't even got everything figured out to even put forth their best shot. So I'm giving them a little bit more lenience. They got to be the best on top of the world right now.
They should. Have you read the roster?
I mean, did Rocky lose to Mr. T?
I mean, yeah, but
I mean,
Brock was the comeback
I'm
story.
just saying.
He wasn't the guy. I mean, it was T right away. He was the come up story. That's what these foreign teams are. They're the Rockies. We're not the Rockies. We're the reigning champ, supposedly.
Again, so and how long have they been practicing? Like you act like you're just supposed to turn up there and everything's supposed to be a well-oiled machine. Like it takes time to get things going and whatnot of the flow of stuff. That's what the exhibition games is for. You can watch film, study tendencies and everything like that. Change this up, mix and match pieces and whatnot. I'm not saying they got to be, the world. They got to look like the world champs right now. All the teams that make playoff runs or in any sport necessarily. Did you think that the Mavs was gonna be the team to represent the Western Conference Final? No. Did they look like the team to make it to the finals? No. So I mean, like, you got to give them time. Like I understand that the pressure of stuff or whatnot, but they're not just about to come out of there, rip their pants off, and it's everything is just supposed to be like that. Or you turn it on like a faucet. Like, no, it's again, people got to understand roles and what to do and what not to do.
I'm a little,
and
so
you have a younger group.
All right, this is what drives me up a wall. This is what grinds my gears. If you want to understand the frustration of when I do see some loafs out there, when I have Steve Kerr talking about, man, what surprised me about LeBron is how hard he works. Every practice, it is insane how hard these guys are working. Okay, if that's true, why is it the exhibition game that you get to take the breather? That makes zero damn sense. So you're going to go all out 100% in the workouts. Then the exhibition game is, okay, now we can take a breather. That makes no sense in the world to me. Like, people need to understand, the USA is not miles away from the rest of the world right now in terms of basketball. This roster should win it because of how good they are. But I think we need to be somewhat aware that this team can be beat. It's not an unstoppable force. Even though I'm picking them, I think there is a reality that needs to set in here that USA basketball is not just miles ahead like it used to be. So when I want these guys to get it together quickly, yeah, I don't want to see any lows out there, because the moment we do that,
I got a question. So did Team USA look better against Serbia than they did Australia?
Kind of. It was a tale of two halves. It was both kind of rough. The second half looked great.
Did they look better? Did they blow them out? Your concerns from them facing Australia, are they still the same concerns right now?
Yeah, they're the same. They should have beat Serbia. They have Jokic. That's kind of, and some guys that did play some good college ball, but that's kind of where it ends. Like, that shouldn't have even been close in the first half. The second half is what it should have looked like right away. Australia's got a bit more.
How many minutes did the actual stars play before they rotated in and out? If LeBron is under 25 minutes, I don't want to hear it. If Steph Curry is under 25 minutes, I don't want to hear it.
All right, we'll go for the minutes.
Just let me know minutes. Like,
yeah, let me find these for you while we talk about this, because just like first quarter. Let me get the totality for you.
I see points, I see this and that and whatnot, but you got however many minutes in a quarter or whatnot. You play in 25 minutes. Like, that's not really that's probably half the game, maybe, or almost half the game. Like, that's not a lot. Well, probably not. That's maybe a little over a quarter of the game. So I mean, what do you expect when things are really revving up and they're putting their best shot out there and everything like that? Do you really think LeBron is only going to get 25 minutes a game? Do you really only think Steph is only going to get 25 minutes? So you're going out there with not seeing, you're judging or you're assuming something with not seeing the whole picture. So I get what you're saying with, like, oh, they should look this and this and that, but they still haven't been put out there. They still haven't put their best foot forward, which I'm not saying is not okay. I'm not saying, it's scaring me. It's an exhibition game. Like, you're figuring out which five, works better together. What's okay if something goes down and you got to switch things up. What's your next five, or what's your next six, or your next seven, and everything like that. They're playing scenario basketball because, at the end of the day, people get injured, people get hurt, and whatnot. And you might have to switch things up. You got different personnels. What if it's a running type team? and you got to go bigger to slow him down, or you got to put your, a more quicker group out there to push the tempo. So they could be figuring out, which five or which different sets that they want to go. I believe in Steve Kerr, that I believe in the players that they have there, and that they're going to get it figured out. And when it's time to actually, get on the live stage, they're going to step up. So I'm not really too concerned on the exhibition games because it's things to be worked out.
Yeah, and here's the minutes for you. It's pretty similar to the game versus Australia. Most of the guys getting 21, 25 in some cases. The bench trying to crack down on it.
Does LeBron have over 25 minutes?
No, he's sitting there at about 22.
Does Steph Curry have over 25 minutes?
No one's above 25 in the starting five.
So then what are we talking about? You judging them like they're actually playing the full game. They're not even getting their regular season time that you see them on their rightfully so NBA team. So you judging it by not seeing the whole picture of things.
I just feel like we're forgetting who they're playing sometimes. I get you're figuring it out, sure. And there is going to be that connection with those teams that are going to have somewhat of an advantage on you because they've been playing longer. But yeah, the Serbia game, the second half looked fantastic. It's just like the weird slow starts where they're like almost caught off guard by the other team's ability to move the ball and catch you just sleeping on defense, which surprises me. One thing I want to talk about, because I don't think we're ever going to agree on this one. I want the USA to get it together now. I think the time was yesterday. You want give them some time. Yeah, whatever. They're figuring out the minutes. Jason Tatum, LeBron James, Joel Embiid, Steph Curry, Drew Holiday, Anthony Edwards, Tyrese Halliburton, Bam Adebayo, Devin Booker, Anthony Davis. This is why I'm saying now's the time. For how good that roster is. But speaking of how great that roster is, Joel Embiid took a significant chunk in minutes decreased. A lot of that getting cooked by Jokic. Anthony Davis steps in and he does a much better job at that center position.
Who doesn't get cooked by Jokic?
AD actually played pretty well. I was impressed by AD's ability to stay in front of him. Who do you like more at that center position? Do you like AD or do you like Joel Embiid? Because Bam Adebayo is going to be that other one, kind of that 4 for you.
At the 5 position?
Yeah. Do you like AD or do you like Joel Embiid? Because I think AD is winning this one for me. Especially the 6 blocks against Serbia. I think even a couple on Jokic himself. AD played really well.
I would go Bam and AD just because they're high intensity, high volume players. Not to say that Joel's not, but sometimes like he can play slow or takes a lot and everything like that. So, but then again, if you got a smaller, slender type of center or whatnot, then yeah, put Joel in there because. I mean, he's a lot. He's a heavyweight. Like, you got Wemby. Look at Wemby. Wemby's as tall as, a twig. But if he coughs too hard, he might break a bone. So it just depends on what the matchup on who will be guarding them. But I mean, if it's a running team and you want to get out there and everything like that, yeah, put Bam at 4 and put AD at 5.
Yeah, Jokic is a unique one to try to cover too, because I think they were right in their mindset.
Who doesn't Joker bust? Like, come on now.
It's everybody. But what was surprising to me was I actually agreed with it. I was like, yeah, Joel Embiid, I think you're going to want the muscle against a guy like Jokic. The guy's like a ballerina out there. It's like you actually need a light foot AD out there, even if he's not going to have the same muscle, and he might get bullied at times with that baby hook he's so good at. I mean, he had Joel Embiid just straight up falling asleep out there on some of the moves. Like Jokic's ability to move his feet at his size makes it very hard that even if you have a center that can be as strong and great at rebounding, if he doesn't have slight feet like an Anthony Davis can kind of move around, it showed last night. So I am starting to think that for how talented some of these centers are going to be, Jokic obviously being the best one, feels like you can get away with Joel Embiid, but AD's the way he's been playing seems like he's going to go ahead and be the guy. Bam Adebayo, though, 3-point sniper for the USA against Serbia. What do you see for Bam Adebayo's role on this roster? Because he's been playing, I will give him the most consistent. As I'm bashing on this team, he's been playing really well.
He's gonna, similar to what Jimmy was on that 2010 team, I feel like more so a defensive rotation. If you do have a right matchup and whatnot, you can exploit it. I think their guard, across the country, guard play is kind of I wouldn't say even, but it's more competitive. I think the mismatch is with the big man not being able to move as agile swiftly as the US guard play, and it's not everybody, but I mean everybody doesn't have a Joker, everybody doesn't have a Wemby, everybody doesn't have a Gobert type to really move and can score, and even Gobert's not really a truly scorer. He's more known for his defense.
Mm-hmm.
So you can take advantage of stuff like that with an Embiid, with a Bam, with an AD, just because it's a mismatch for the other countries that you don't really know how to stop it.
Yeah, and I think there's going to be plenty of games out here where, and Steve Kerr mentioned it too, he wasn't too alarmed, as you were saying, by him struggling to defend Jokic. He was pretty aware. I mean, Jokic is the MVP, 3 MVPs now. Clearly a very dominant player, even at the NBA level. But there's going to be plenty of matchups where you're going to find a team that just doesn't have anybody for a Joel Embiid. Like, they just won't have somebody nearly strong enough to go up there and try to get rebounds with Embiid in there. And then Anthony Davis as well, just to have him back up. Like, this team is incredible. And that is why I'm so hesitant for them to get it together right now. Because it blows my mind that some of these teams are even coming close to USA, if that makes sense. As we're kind of bringing this thing all the way back to the beginning. But like, that's what I see when I look at this roster, is that it does amaze me that some of these teams are finding ways to keep it close.
Okay, I got a question.
Go
so for it. If the Bears was to play today, do you think they would be like, what's your expectation? Do you expect them to play past your standards or everything like that, or are you going to give them some leeway with things?
Well, this is the problem with that. Do I get a all-time great coach to replace Eberflus?
You going around the question. It's
but you're comparing football. It's all going to depend on Caleb Williams.
It's a team sport, is it not?
Yeah, team sport.
You got a bunch of players that are on a new team. Do you not?
Yeah, absolutely.
All I'm saying is necessarily, do you expect them to have everything together right now, only a few weeks into it necessarily, or can you give them more time to get situated and understand things?
All right, I'll put my foot in the snare trap. No, they're not going to just go out there and dominate.
Is the best football, baseball, basketball played at the beginning or towards the middle, towards the middle of the season?
Yeah, it's middle, towards the end.
So why are you holding them to this expectation, or they got to have it together right then and now? If you just said as teams go further on in a season, the play should get better.
Sure, but with all these other teams, it's also the beginning for them. You can say they're more familiar with each other. All of these guys in the NBA are pretty damn familiar with each other's games too. So everybody's starting at the beginning here, USA included. Do they have a little bit more to work through on the roster construction? Absolutely. But
I don't think so. Because all these other teams, do they play in the NBA? No. So if they're not playing over there, they're playing in these other leagues with typically more people that then came up on the team or whatnot. How many people you think know Jokic or didn't play with Joker on the Serbian team?
Yeah, Serbia, absolutely.
So I'm just saying purely. So even with Canada, how many of those dudes in Canada do you think that they've known them outside before they got to the NBA, or then played around on a certain, for instance, just an AAU team or a circuit team with the players in Canada? How often do you think that they have came across each other or played with each other or whatnot, to where you understand their game, what they do, what they bring to it, and how to affect things, versus where it's not necessarily the same for the NBA. Not pretty much none of these dudes really play on the same team, other than maybe 4 years ago you got probably half of the players that played on the last Olympics. So they're coming back with a little bit more experience, and then the new guys, you're kind of tossing them in the fire to get them kind of caught up. So it's like, I'm not really expecting y'all to be the best version of yourself right now, when things take time. Good things takes time to make things happen.
All right, we can end with that one. I want the gold medal now. No, I understand. Takes time. Put the roster together. Now I'm still holding on to the fact, though. A little bit surprised I'll just keep saying it. We just read down the roster, and I understand they're putting things together. But yeah, Serbia, they do wipe them out in the second half. So not to confuse it too much, it was a pretty convincing win by USA. Australia and Canada were much closer. This one, they do run away with it. With that being said, though, we're going to throw to our first break here. Dump Punt Hour with the morning Pierson-El. Talk some college football next. Don't go anywhere.
Keep summer green with Judson Baleen and Judson Irrigation. More than 40 years ago, Judson Irrigation started taking in orphans. Lawn sprinkler systems installed by a quickie, cheapy summer job, install them and forget them outfit, long forgotten. Call Judson Irrigation. They'll never forget you.
Keep summer green. Call Judson Irrigation 402-420-6277 or judsonirrigation.com.
Highball Bar in downtown Lincoln is open and located just north of 11th and O Street. Highball Bar offers a vibe and atmosphere like no other, making it the perfect place to grab a drink or beverage. Highball Bar features great events such as Karaoke Sunday, $4 Tito's on Mondays, Jack Daniel's specials on Wednesdays, and much more. Make Highball Bar your go-to spot after a hard day at work or on the weekend. Highball Bar, located at 122 North 11th Street in downtown Lincoln.
Looking for a place to host a one-of-a-kind private game day experience for your staff or clients? Courtyard Marriott downtown is just blocks from the stadium and steps away from all the fanfare. You'll enjoy use of an entire entertainment space, including outdoor courtyard, accommodations for 250-plus guests. Party starts 3 hours before kickoff, and they'll clean up while you go and enjoy the game. Call Courtyard Marriott at 402-904-4800 for more info or to book your pregame party today. Limited dates available.
Power Combo BOGO? Huh?
Yes, if you purchase an air conditioner, you receive a furnace completely free. At John Henry's, our professionals want to ensure you are comfortable in your home all year long, no matter what Nebraska has to throw at us. Call today to schedule your free estimate and learn more about the free furnace waiting for you. Give John Henry's a call today.
435-5555. John Henry's Plumbing, Heating and Air.
And electrical.
Are you looking to get into the electrical construction industry or wanting a new scene? The Electrical Workers of Local Union 265 are now hiring licensed journeymen and apprentices and are offering great pay and benefits. Call Mike at 402-875-1034 to apply. Start your electrical career today.
Child today with the Teammates Mentoring Program. Hope is only a conversation away when you choose to share your talent, time, and heart with a child. Together, you can build a relationship based on strengths and chart a brighter future, 1 week at a time. Find out how you can be a mentor by visiting LincolnTeammates.org. Become what you needed as a kid by joining the Teammates Mentoring Program today.
The next generation of Huskers starts now. Join the official Kids Club of Nebraska Athletics today to score access to select home games, a discount at the team store, and endless Husker spirit. The free JV team gets you started with a game credential. Upgrade to the $35 Lil Huskers membership for a welcome box and VIP Lil Huskers experiences. Fuel your Husker spirit. Join the Kids Club today at huskers.com/Kids Club. Go Big Red.
Electrical Enterprises in Roca reminds you, the men and women of our military dedicate themselves to serving our country. Their commitment and courage keep our country safe and strong. Let us honor those who've lost their lives in the line of duty and salute those serving today. This from Electrical Enterprises in Roca. For all your residential and commercial electrical construction needs, call 402-438-5822. Saluting our troops and veterans. God bless America.
You already know that Select Plumbing takes care of all your plumbing needs, including water heaters, faucet repairs, leaks, drips, sump pumps, and more. Now, they're able to help you with your heating and air conditioning as well. Select Plumbing has recently expanded into residential heating and air, and they're excited to bring this new service to their complete list of plumbing services. Call to book an appointment today at 402-560-6197 or go to selectplumbinginc.com. Serving Lincoln, Seward, Milford, and the surrounding areas.
For only $2.99 a day, LES powers life's sweetest moments and keeps all your summer treats icy cold and ready. Learn more at les.com/value.
93.7 The Ticket, Fox, KFXL weather. Brought to you by Bryant Air Conditioning, Heating, Electrical, and Plumbing.
Your Lincoln forecast for today, we're expecting mainly sunny skies and light winds for the and Akron high around 83. Tonight, mostly clear and calm, low around 58. And tomorrow, shaping up to be a near repeat of today with mainly sunny skies, light winds, and an Akron high around 83. Meteorologist Kyle Tucker from 93.7 Ticket and theticketfm.com.
On the Block with Strick and Austin.
If it was the Big Ten and the SEC and the Big 12 and the ACC's idea to kick back to grow the game at lower levels, we wouldn't have these conversations. But because the NCAA is asking them to do that, it feels like they're getting their wallet stolen, money taken out of it, and it's not their idea, so they're against it.
Yeah.
Weekdays from 2 to 4 on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com. This is the Don't Punt Hour on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com. Here is your host, DeMornay Pierson-El.
All right, welcome back in. Don't Punt Hour. Harrison Arns on the ones and twos. As always, we got the former Husker special teams threat wide receiver, DeMornay Pierson-El, streaming in. If you guys want to put a face to the voice, Facebook, YouTube, Allo, channel 961. We're going to switch gears here and talk a little bit about college football. Speaking of that, just some quick notes here because I want to help out all the Husker fans. If you plan on watching the Huskers on Peacock, price increase goes tomorrow. So make sure you get that done tonight because it's going to be more expensive if you don't. That being said, though, let's talk about this coming from the NCAA Council because they're recently presented with a governance structure that would create two D1s, two Division Ones per source. The source isn't named yet. This was in the NCAA Council. It would be to accommodate the Power Four's desire to have its own governance division to make its own rules, but not fully break away, but a recognition of those commissioners. What are your thoughts on that? I mean, college football gets weirder by the day, but this is the last kind of info. It's about 5 hours ago coming from the NCAA Council, leaked out by a source.
So just say you don't want to follow the rules of the NCAA then. I mean, I don't get it. Either replace the people that are in power now or rewrite, the rules or laws or something like that, or, have a different bargaining agreement all across. You don't need to necessarily make it more complicated and just, we're going to create two Division Ones. Like, no, that makes no sense at all.
What I think is happening is these Power Fours feel like the rest of the college football world is running away from them and they can't keep up. And these rules are coming through and they're sitting there looking in their pockets thinking, how the hell is this going to work for us? We're not a Nebraska, Texas. Hell, we're not even, you can pick a lesser school in Indiana, a Rutgers. I think where this is coming to a head and where I do kind of get some of it is I wonder if this is about, we simply can't keep up with you guys. You guys are just on this rampage of new college football, which is fine, but you're not bringing us along at all for the ride. I mean,
okay, then maybe go back to your Big East. Maybe go back to FCS. Pump that league up and whatnot, and make the Power Five or something like that run to you and have you wanting to be wanted and needed instead of making them feel like they're not wanted.
Yeah, it's interesting because it's definitely the way it's heading right now, especially with the Big Ten and SEC. I mean, they have so much leverage in everything that's going on. Austin Norman shouted this out earlier. They're going to get about 58% of the revenue between the Big Ten and SEC in this deal. So, and obviously all the other Power Fives alone in that, we're not happy with that agreement. Would it be a good move to split, or do you think you try to figure this thing out and come together? Or are you saying do your own thing? They're probably just going to continue to leverage their power over you?
I would hopefully not, to split. I mean, if you're talking about a revenue or whatnot, nobody told UNC to sign that deal that they signed. That's not a Power Five issue. That's a UNC. Y'all got a good, business college. Y'all have a good, lawyer college and whatnot. Well, somebody messed up and said that that was a good deal, and y'all didn't necessarily benefit. So that's just bad business on y'all, and now y'all mad and upset about certain things or about getting left out with stuff when it's between you and whoever networks to get a TV deal done and whatnot. You can't be mad that other people took advantage of that and renewed deals or got new deals brought to the table and whatnot because they're hot right now. That's not the Big Ten's fault. That's not the SEC fault. But that's where majority of the teams that people want to see play at or whatnot. So supply and demand. Like I don't think you should be mad and pout about it because something's not going your way about it.
You're right. I mean, this is the argument. If you are those schools, it's like we are the one making the money. We built this thing up. We're sorry. We're doing well. It's like, is it their job to bring everybody else along? You can argue morally or not, if it's fair, if it's unfair, but that's just the reality of it. There is no real obligation that they have to, and they're running away with it. Here's my thought. It's crazy. What if you take these teams, you put them into groups, organize them geographically, the ones that want to leave, and you put them in something called a conference? That seems like an idea for those guys if they want to try to get out of this. I think you just break off. I mean, if they're going to run away with it and you're going to just continually.
So would that be something like Notre Dame with being independent or no?
I think so. I think that's like the route. Well, the way they're putting this out, if they do go this route with the Power Fours and they have two Division Ones, they would still be connected. They would still be connected to the rest of Division One. Now, if they completely separate, which I think, as crazy as it is, might be somewhat worth looking into just long term, because I don't see these deals getting it better for you anytime soon. It's just going to keep going to the bigger schools.
Or what about if you play, you put in a deal? I mean, Alabama doesn't play. They play about two good schools a year. I mean, I remember when they played USC at the beginning of the season. Like, you don't necessarily have to play Alabama, but what about UNC putting Florida on your schedule? What about putting Mississippi State on your schedule? What about putting Kentucky on your schedule or something like that? You don't have to go for the heavy hitters, or putting a Penn State or
I'll put a Nebraska there until we prove it. I mean, seriously, like you could.
But I mean, like that will be you, because I mean you gotta sign. So one school gets paid to go play another school or whatnot. So I mean that'll be money in your pocket too, and the coverage of what you want and everything like that.
Yeah, the reason why I say maybe you do break away is I wonder if they gotta just, if the numbers would add up to where they could get a TV deal that actually benefits them more, because the TV deal's so massive with these major conferences that maybe if you break off, you can set up your own TV deal, restructure it for how many streaming services are out there now. Someone might give you a heavy chunk of money just to have your own in particular. But yeah, I mean, I think we'll stay the same.
How do you still get out of that deal? Like, if you don't belong necessarily to a conference, is that you voiding a contract? Is that you losing money? Does that go to you losing scholarships for kids to attend the school or whatnot? Like, if you do that, like there's consequences to things. Mm-hmm. So if that's the case, what exactly is the fallout from that? Is it even worth that if scholarships are taken off the school or funding for the school is taken off and whatnot?
Well, this is the other part with the NCAA. How strong are they today? How much do you need to absolutely follow their rules if you decide to go and do your own thing here? Because we've seen people more and more often kind of just give them the finger and do what they want to do because they've dragged their feet on a lot of these issues. So the other part is they're obviously still have position of power, but how real is that? And do you absolutely have to listen to what they're going to say? Now, contracts, yeah, whatever you're locked into, you're going to either have to pay your way out of it or hope that you're getting towards the end of that deal. But it's just an interesting time. I don't think that we'll see them break away, but I wouldn't be surprised. We might see 2 Division Ones in college football for those group of Power Fours.
So then how would that go for
Is it like the FCS? That's why I'm trying to wrap my head around. Would it be like
how would that go? How would that go for necessarily the playoffs? Oh, well, you can't get in. Like it'll be like Notre Dame.
Yeah.
Like Notre Dame necessarily gets looked over because they don't have a conference championship.
Mm-hmm.
So are you okay with that?
Money. They make a lot of money being independent. That's kind of the trade-off. If they're going to allow you in, because Notre Dame has screwed, but there's a reason they stayed independent. The money's there.
So are they, again, that's one of the original Blue Bloods. Are they okay with just making a lot of money and not competing for championships, or what? Y'all happy because y'all just winning and that's enough for y'all? For how long is that going to be okay with until you be like, all right, well, I want something more necessarily out of this?
Yeah, well, I think this all kind of goes back to, we talked about the House versus the NCAA when they're trying to figure that out, because this is also where the Power Fours are sitting there like, you guys are running away. You also handed us this like really, really big bill that we're having a hard time swallowing. I'd imagine there's still a lot of stress on trying to figure out how we're going to do this on top of recruiting with NIL and paying off this massive debt to these former players that might take 10 years of just constantly paying money that should be accounted for, but because of this lawsuit and the way that Power 5 kind of screwed the lesser schools over, they're going to have to keep chipping away at this debt that's hanging over their head now. So I do think that's a big factor into it, and I think this is why you're getting these councils. You have these smaller schools freaking out because they can't keep up with the sudden money rush that these other schools had boosters in place, had people they knew to get that money in there, and these other schools, it feels like they're starting to panic a little bit. Like, we need to figure something out because this is just not going to work for us in the long run. And that's pretty clear. So if this is the way they do it, it seems messy. I'm not sure if I exactly like it. Again, you'd have two Division Ones, but
I don't like how many of those teams, if a lot of teams go if for the playoffs, like how many spots do you hold with no conference championship? Would a 8-3 or a 8-3 or a 9-3 team get in with a conference championship win over one of those teams that might be 11-1 or 10-1 or 10-2?
Probably not. Like, that's the Notre Dame risk you're talking about. You're going to get overlooked. Absolutely will. Unless they have some sort of wrinkle in the playoffs where they get you involved no matter what. But I don't see that happening either. So something to think about as we continue on to unravel college football and how they want to try to structure and organize this thing with the rush of NIL, with the lawsuit going through, with the Power Fours having a little bit of panic, rightfully so.
They got a lot going on that they got to figure out.
Yeah,
they're getting stretched thin and it's getting ugly before it gets better.
Yeah, and then meanwhile, you got the big schools. It's like, how many more millions do we get in NIL? It's just two completely different worlds, and that's kind of where you understand where these guys are coming from. Is it, the Power Fives role to keep those guys alive? No. But they're certainly putting them in a hell of a lot of stress with the way they're organizing these deals. That's where it gets shady from them. It's like, you did what's best for you, but man, you did it kind of in a shady way at the cost of others. So yeah, there's a little bit of moral obligation there to kind of help them out. At least that's the way I see it. I wouldn't really like to see this go through. We've seen enough already. The Pac-12 just died. This would be a weird one, having two Division Ones. That being said, though, we'll wrap it up. On the last segment, we're going to talk about Florida 2024. Is this the hardest schedule in college football? We'll do that next. Don't Punt Hour. Don't go anywhere.
By now, most of you know how important the Honda of Lincoln sales and service team are to the Lincoln market. Hello, Charlie Stone here, and joining me is Andy Goodyear from Honda of Lincoln to tell you about the great news they just received. Andy, please tell us all about it.
Each year, the Lincoln Journal-Star has an award program called the Lincoln Choice Award, where the customers in Lincoln get to choose the best places to do business. Great pleasure, I get to announce that Honda of Lincoln has won the award for buying new cars, used cars, automotive repair, and even oil changes.
That is amazing, Andy. Any more good news?
Yes, there is, Charlie. We now have more than 100 new Hondas in stock, with hundreds on the way, and a huge selection of all makes and models on our pre-owned lot.
Incredible. Maybe it's time you come experience the Honda of Lincoln way of doing business. 27th and Yankee Hill Road or online at hondaoflincoln.com.
Highball Bar in downtown Lincoln is open and located just north of 11th and O Street. Highball Bar offers a vibe and atmosphere like no other, making it the perfect place to grab a drink or beverage. Highball Bar features great events such as Karaoke Sunday, $4 Tito's on Mondays, Jack Daniel's specials on Wednesdays, and much more. Make Highball Bar your go-to spot after a hard day at work or on the weekend. Highball Bar, located at 122 North 11th Street in downtown Lincoln.
The weather is hot, the kids are out of school, and you're on your way to the lake and summer road trips. Are you getting to your vacation spot comfortably, or is your car letting you down? Mullen Motors Lot is full of great vehicles to take home, so you don't have to worry about your current car barely surviving another road trip. Come check out their lot just north of 48th and Layton and find your next ride for summer road trips and beyond. Mullen Motors.
No taglines, just quality vehicles. Mullen Motors.
Liberty Law Group is committed to the defense of your liberty and pursuit of your justice for those that have been injured. My name is Seth Morris, attorney with Liberty Law Group. If you've been injured in an accident that wasn't your fault, call 877-42-LIBERTY. Our relentless trial attorneys are committed to the highest quality legal representation. At Liberty Law Group, we will fight for you. Call 877-42-LIBERTY. Again, that's 877-42-LIBERTY.
This is former Husker and NFL linebacker Jay Foreman. For years, I've suffered from degenerative problems in both of my ankles, but thanks to a thorough and thought-out plan provided by Advanced Medical Imaging, I was able to get my life back with the least amount of pain as possible. While working through multiple options, the team of physicians at Advanced Medical Imaging were there to answer any questions I had. If you're experiencing any pain at all and want to get your life back, go to amimaging.com or give them a call at 402-484-6677. Advanced Medical Imaging, located at 7601 Pioneers Boulevard.
Power combo BOGO? Huh?
Yes, if you purchase an air conditioner, you receive a furnace completely free. At John Henry's, our professionals want to ensure you are comfortable in your home all year long, no matter what Nebraska has to throw at us. Call today to schedule your free estimate and learn more about the free furnace waiting for you. Give John Henry's a call today.
435-5555. John Henry's Plumbing, Heating and Air.
And electrical.
Big box stores are tempting for buying equipment for your high schooler in sports or for yourself in your sports leisures. But buying new is awfully expensive. Why not go somewhere with new and used options? Play It Again Sports has quality, slightly to gently used equipment, and 50% of their inventory is actually new equipment. And it's more than baseball, softball, and golf. They also have equipment for disc golf, fitness, hockey, and more. Plus, they're always buying products. Bring your gear you're done with and get trade money on the spot. Play It Again Sports at 48th and Vine. Empower a child today with the Teammates Mentoring Program. Hope is only a conversation away when you choose to share your talent, time, and heart with a child. Together, you can build a relationship based on strengths and chart a brighter future, 1 week at a time. Find out how you can be a mentor by visiting LincolnTeammates.org. Become what you needed as a kid by joining the Teammates Mentoring Program today.
As a proud member of the Roofing and Solar Reform Alliance, Coalition Restoration stands out by providing thorough property assessments, personalized customer service, and top-notch craftsmanship. With years of experience in the industry, Coalition Restoration has built a notable reputation for having a team filled with skilled professionals and possessing the expertise to handle any roofing project, big or small. Visit their website today for a free roof assessment at www.coalitionrestoration.com or give them a call at 402-607-8186. Soulful Casino in Havelock is a family-owned business, providing incredible food and service that'll have you craving more with every bite. Soulful Casino offers everything from pulled pork to fried chicken, catfish, ribs, and even quesadillas. You want sides? They've got them. From fries, green beans and baked beans, to collard greens, potato salad, and sweet dill corn. Stop by for lunch as they have specials Tuesday through Friday from 11 to 2 p.m. That's Soulful Casino, located in Havelock, where every bite you take fills the soul.
Whether you like fishing together or fishing to get away, for the thrill of reeling in a big one, or just going out to have a good time, on the banks of your local pond, at a bend in a river, or on one of our many lakes and reservoirs, you'll always find the perfect place to cast a line. Here, beneath Nebraska skies. Start planning your next fishing adventure today at letsfishnebraska.com. Sponsored by Nebraska Game and Parks, aired with the Nebraska Broadcasters Association and this station.
Garage doors can be expensive. Are you keeping yours in the best condition possible? This is Cameron Hall with Doors Plus. Doors Plus is a locally owned business that prides itself on the fast, reliable, and friendly service. Doors Plus offers flexible scheduling so you can book an appointment that fits your busy day. My team and I will come out to your property, both commercial and residential, and provide you with the necessary information you need to make sure your garage door is in working and smooth condition. Give Doors Plus a call today at 402-590-5800 to book an appointment and learn more about our preventative maintenance plans. Doors Plus, garage doors, and more.
This is the Don't Punt Hour on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com. Here is your host, DeMornay Pierson-El.
All right, wrapping things up here. Don't Punt Hour. DeMornay Pierson-El, the host as always. This one, we're going to talk about what might be the toughest schedule in college football for the 2024 season, that one being Florida. We're going to go through this schedule here, and DeMornay Pierson-El, just give me your thoughts. And if you think this is truly the toughest schedule ahead for any college football team out there for this upcoming season. So, Florida, game one, they got Miami. Then they get Samford, Texas A&M, Mississippi State, UCF, Tennessee, Kentucky. And then you got the brutal stretch, Georgia, Texas, LSU, Ole Miss, Florida State. You got yourself muted there as well, DeMornay.
I mean, we really don't know what Oklahoma's going to be. We really don't know what Texas is going to be in the SEC. So is that technically really – I'm probably more – Texas makes me a little bit more nervous than OU. So, I mean, it's a pretty rough schedule. I don't know if it's the worst schedule in the nation. I'm trying to think who between Texas and Oklahoma, they have to have, like, they can't get a cakewalk right into the SEC. They can't.
And if you look at list of these people trying to combine what they think, Texas and Oklahoma pop up a lot because it's just going to be once you're in the SEC. And again, for Florida's case, they were 7-6 overall. I think they were definitely below 500 in conference play alone. And to get this slate in front of you, again, not a bad team, but that schedule, I don't know if you win your last 5 games. Going from Georgia might beat the brakes off you to Texas, pick yourself up. LSU, if that offense is still anything close to what it was without Daniels, you got a problem there. Ole Miss, never sleep on Ole Miss. They've just been there consistently.
Like I said, I think Ole Miss will probably make the biggest jump and probably take over or be one of the university that fills the shoes of Saban gone, just because they've kind of been in the shadow. But I feel like Ole Miss has always, played hard and whatnot. That is a tough little rough patch. I like Texas better, hanging or doing better in the SEC better than Oklahoma, but that late in the season, I mean that's real SEC ball. That's with Florida, what they have coming back. Like, what are they really going to look like? I'm not sure.
It's like they won't be bad, but I don't. Again, with this schedule laid out in front of them, definitely below 500 once again in conference play. I'll ask you this last question before we wrap things up. Georgia, is anybody going to stop Georgia in the SEC alone this year?
No.
I agree. They seem scared. They pulled the Florida State. Yeah, they didn't get picked for the playoffs, and they just beat the brakes in that goal.
You got a bunch of coaches from Saban's tree. Now the GOAT is gone. Now we get to see, exactly what's up. The only one that's ever really challenged him would be Kirby, but even still, Kirby lost when SEC championship, national championship lost. So it's like, did he really, go that far? Like I said, I think Ole Miss is going to do something well, just because Lane, what he's done at Ole Miss, how potent their offense is. I think you have to watch out for them. A&M, I feel like it's up on the horizon, but I'm not they don't give me the same feeling as a Ole Miss does. What Texas was able to do, then again, you never know because you played Alabama early when you were all healthy. You didn't go through, a SEC, conference.
Mhm.
So, will Texas look good? Yes, but how sustainable, will things be for them? That's still an adjustment. So we'll see with things, but I definitely think probably because I don't think Ole Miss is on Alabama side. I think Georgia's on the opposite side. So
Yeah.
I think you'll see Ole Miss probably, Alabama, you could see Alabama there because I do like what DeBoer is bringing, but it still is not going to be the same thing as Saban. But I think it's Georgia's ball conference to lose. Like they're going to the SEC championship for sure. That's not going to change.
Yep, and there's a legitimate chip on their shoulder because they're kind of with Florida State, except the difference is that they played the bowl game and made a point about how good they were. So that's one. Again, you said it. Alabama with Saban gone. Good luck trying to catch up to Georgia. And the way I look at Texas, they have a good chance just to be the wreckers, ruin the team's future for college football playoffs. But even now, 12 team playoff. You may even take a loss to Texas and still find your way in there. With that being said, going to wrap it up here. Don't Punt Hour. Shout out to Morning Pierson-El on time as always. What's brewing? Chance of Brewington up next. Don't go anywhere.
Get that stuff on.